Good evening, everyone, and welcome to GamePoints episode 182, our weekly little get-together where we talk about recent gaming news. I'm, as always, your host, Stephen Brown, and joining me today is...
I'm David.
Tonight, David, we need to talk about how G2A unequivocally sucks.
Oh, yeah, dude, I think we talked about that a little bit last week.
Oh, we're going to get into it again later.
Let's really dive into it. Let's get really deep on how shitty they are.
We're going to talk about how Obsidian not wanting to cram into politics somehow is a bad thing, according to some people on Twitter. AMD's Ryzen 3000 new processor is causing some issues with Destiny 2, and more.
Yeah, more. That's
more.
super
and by more, I mean not much, because it was the 4th of July holiday over the past few days, and all news stopped from Wednesday on.
Because America is the only country, and game studios only exist in America.
Right, and it's been a dry week, David. It's been a very, very dry week.
I mean, that's fair. You can say that.
Yeah. That said, what stories we do talk about, I want you all to participate in. GamePoints is, of course, an audience interactive podcast. So if you're watching here live at twitch.tv/GamePoints or later on youtube.com/GamePointsPC, feel free to join in the conversation with any topics, questions, concerns, things you want to mention, have covered, or just general tomfoolery, or insert whatever joyful adjective here because I can't quite think of one. The point is, I want you to be part of the show, and you can also be part of our Discord server is down below if you want to get more deeper dive than what the podcast can allow on any of these topics.
Yeah, it's real deep.
Yeah, real deep. Woo! Before we get into any of that, however, David.
Yes.
This is somewhat breaking news.
Breaking news, brand new to both you and me, and obviously our viewers. This is a huge deal.
I found out about this like 10 minutes ago.
Yep, this is great. This is the greatest news we could have gotten.
The long wait is over, David. A new Turok game is coming.
About time. I can't wait to kill some dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's not what you think it is. This game, coming from indie developer Pillow Pig and published by Universal Studios Interactive Entertainment, Turok Escape from the Lost Valley is more of an adaptation of the comic series than it was the video games that you might be familiar with from the N64. And it is not a first-person shooter. Now,
not even a little bit.
No, the link will be provided down below in the description, of course. But what this appears to be is a isometric, very chibi-looking. I don't know. It's not really a real-time strategy, but it
looks like Bastion.
It looks like it might play like Bastion a little bit, but it looks nothing like Bastion.
It's super cartoony. The art style reminds me of Castle Crashers more than anything else.
That's exactly what I would.
But then with like Minecraft blocks, isometric gameplay, and it looks to play a lot like Bastion.
This is not Turok the way we remember it.
Yeah, this is adorable Turok. This is the Turok we deserved in the first place.
So
coming out on July 25th for Steam.
Yeah, it is coming soon, despite the fact that the trailer says out now. The Steam page itself says July 25th, which should kind of give you an idea of the caliber of marketing that we're dealing with here. Not to bash the unseen PR team behind this one, but someone dropped the ball somewhere on that miscommunication. I will say this, David. When I first saw it, I thought this was a mobile game.
I mean, that's fair.
Because it looks like a mobile game to me.
I mean, it looks better than a mobile game.
Yeah, technically.
It looks to control better than a mobile game.
Maybe.
I don't know. We'll see. Comes out in a little while.
Were you a Turok fan?
No, I don't give two shits about Turok.
Yeah,
that's why this doesn't bother me.
Same
I
here.
know there's a bunch of people that are waiting for it and would probably be excited for a new Turok game, but I would probably play this weird, chibi, isometric action game over the HD non-HD upgrade re-release of Turok that came out not too long ago.
Yeah, well, there was Turok on the N64, and then there was Seeds of Evil, which was its sequel, and then there was, I want to say back in 2008, a reboot of Turok.
Yeah, but then we just got that like cleaned up N64 version of Turok, right? That just came out on Switch or whatever.
You're right. I think you're right. I was never a fan of this franchise either, but I know it has a dedicated fan base. And the reason why I feel bad about this is because I sympathize with them. As someone who's had... Good.
This hits the same way that Prey hit. Because it wasn't a sequel to the other Prey, it was a reboot of that entire IP.
Yeah, but I really liked the new Prey.
That's fair, but there's a whole bunch of people that wanted a sequel to the old Prey.
I would say this is more in line... This hits me in the same way Well, it doesn't hit me, but I feel like this would hit some people in the same way the EA's announcement of Command & Conquer Mobile or Dungeon Keeper hit me.
Oh yeah, that was rough.
Or Overlord.
But it's not a mobile game, so I don't.
Yeah, I know it's not a mobile game.
Like free to play microtransaction nonsense in it. Maybe it's just a video game.
I need to roll back on the it looks like a mobile game thing because it's not. So far, the only thing it's been announced for is technically Steam. In fact, hold on. While we're thinking about Steam, let's take a look at this. This is breaking, so I haven't actually had a chance to really, really take a look at this. Turok Escape from the Lost Valley.
Yeah, it's got a Steam page.
It does, but I'm saying I learned about this 10 minutes ago, so I haven't dug too deep into what this is about. Turok Escape from Lost Valley is a third-person action-adventure game where the player is Turok trying to find a way back home, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it just says action-adventure game. It doesn't actually give me any more details as to what it is right now, other than the 30-second trailer that's up. This is, I mean, it's
cutesy and grid-based,
except so for you walk counter around. To everything I've seen from Turok.
Fair.
It's like, remember when Microsoft kind of trolled people at, not last year's E3, I think it was the year before, when they were like, here's the new Gears game coming. It was like Funko Pop Gears.
How about the time that Valve made a game and it was the fucking Dota 2 card game?
I'm trying to go with the you expect a dark, gritty thing, and instead you get this cheerful, like, whatever. But yes, it's the same. It is kind of the same deal. Cook for Tacos, by the way, thank you for showing up in chat. Always appreciated. There's just something off-putting about
Diablo
this.
Immortal could work.
Yeah,
it's still trying to play like the source material, so it's a little different.
It all kind of falls in that umbrella of a franchise people love, and they always like wait for the new game for it, and then they finally show off the new game, and it's just it. I'm telling you right now, this isn't going to go over well. Let's while on this topic, let me take a look at their YouTube page, because I'm sure people on the YouTube page are completely understanding as to what this is, right?
Hell yeah, dude. They're going to be super friendly. They always are. That's why I love YouTube so much, because it's such a supportive community.
Now, remember, I did say that this is new, so this trailer is only this the YouTube video has only been up for a little bit, and it's just now making its rounds. It's already currently sitting at 30 likes compared to 144 dislikes. So you're looking at a 4 times dislike ratio.
That's great. That's pretty good. They literally could have called it anything else.
Exactly. It should have been like Bob's Dinosaur Adventure or something. This is...
But, you know, sometimes you have to throw a big IP behind a project so that you can get people to play your game that's actually fun.
That's just it, though. We have had this shit happen so often with bad results. The gamer is the gamer, to use that nebulous term that's always thrown out as a pejorative for some reason these days. We are a very cynical group at this point because we have been burned so many times.
No, that's not true.
No, incorrect.
There's a huge game that just used an existing IP and did phenomenal, and people seem to love it.
Which one?
Breath of the Wild.
You mean the not Zelda game that has the Zelda skin slapped on? Is that the point you're trying to make here?
That is absolutely the point I'm trying to make. Sometimes people make a game that's pretty fun and they slap a skin on it to get people to play it.
But the thing is,
that is my argument.
We've seen this kind of bullshit happen so often where they just take a random IP, slap a name to it, and go, "Hey, because for new game on this." It's like, no, it's not. You took a completely different game and just reskinned it on something like that in a cynical attempt to try to cash in on nostalgia. And more people are getting pissed off by it because we see how fucking transparent it is. Let's see. Coco the Tacos in chat says, we're not cynical. We just keep buying shit games, cough, Anthem. Yeah, that's definitely a problem too. You want to know why games have microtransactions? Because microtransactions make a shit ton of money because we keep buying them.
Yep. Although Anthem didn't do that well.
That's what he's saying. We bought shit games, Anthem. Anthem actually sold decently well out the gate. It wasn't like a disaster. It just has no more player base. It had a all right opening.
The game was a disaster.
Yeah, it had an all right opening, and there's no tail because everyone fucking. Last I heard about Anthem, they were having issues with matchmaking because the player base dropped so hard.
Makes sense to me. I wanted to play that game too. I'm so upset about it.
You know what's really annoying about this? This actually could be a fun game. And if they just would have called it Escape from the Lost Valley or Escape from Lost Valley, it would have less hate. However, to tie it back to what we're saying, if it was just called Escape from Lost Valley, no one would be talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. It would have no things, and it would just be another indie released on Steam, lost in the middle of millions of other indies.
Right. And that's a shame, because this could be good. We're immediately judging it out the gate just based on what it is. Not because of how it might be, but because of the name associated with it.
Yep. Also, there totally is a Turok comic book, and it could be based on that.
They are saying it's based off the comics and not the games.
Yeah, and it could have characters and stories and set pieces all based on that. And it's just the problem of people can only associate with their one nostalgia, and they can't break it.
But there is something fucked up when you're relying on negative energy to drive your marketing. Because you can't tell me the people who are behind this are like, oh yeah, people will embrace this with open arms. It's a Turok game.
Or there's just a guy who's legitimately been salty since the N64 games that fucking video game that everybody seems to like so much got Turok wrong and is a legitimate Turok fan. So why not? It's 2019. You can do what the fuck you want.
No.
It's going to sell or it's not going to sell.
It's just...
It's how
I think it shows a sad state of the industry when this is where we're at. You either have to use nostalgia in a way that's going to piss people off, knowingly piss people off, because I doubt this was a mistake. I think when they made this decision, the people went, yeah, this is going to upset some people. And I think that has been factored into their PR release, because this would not be talked about if it wasn't Turok. It's just we're talking about it in a negative way. And that gets factored in. PR is smart. PR is way smarter than people give it credit for. And every time when there's a negative reaction to something, that doesn't always mean PR dropped the ball. Sometimes the negative reaction is what PR was looking for. Because once again, to state it, you know what I'm trying to say. Once again, let me I believe in you. I'm also trying to reach at the same time, so it's causing my brain to restart over and over and over again. We wouldn't be talking about this if it wasn't for negativity. So negativity has to factor into PR's things, and it fucking sucks that we have hit that point.
I don't know, man. I feel like you're just trying really hard to make this news. It's just doesn't bother me. But I get that there's a bunch of people that aren't me that love Turok, and so they are probably upset by it. Just like there's a bunch of people that, like Coco says in chat, that love Disney, and now that we have all these live-action Disney remakes, it's doing the same thing. It's cashing in on nostalgia, and everyone goes to see it just so they can be like, the cartoon was better, and why didn't they do this? But if you really stop to think about it, if you love the fucking cartoon so much, the cartoon doesn't stop existing. So if you love Turok so much, Turok doesn't stop existing just because this game gets made. And you could still potentially get a 3D sequel to Turok at some point in the future. Maybe this game could add some amount of credibility to the license, and someone gets interested in Turok, and somebody looks at it, because, it's been sitting dormant for 12 years, so it's not like it was going to get a fucking game anyway.
Point to me where you can legally obtain an original version of Final Fantasy VI without having to spend $400. Instead, you have to buy that shitty mobile port, don't you?
It's true, you do.
So that argument doesn't necessarily hold water. Point to me where you might be able to. I don't know on this one. But remember when Lucas re-released the Star Wars edits?
And fixed them with all of his extra bullshit.
Or E.T. when they took out all the guns and replaced them with walkie-talkies.
Oh, that was a good move. That was really important.
Do you see the point that I'm trying to make? It's like, nah, sometimes the cartoon doesn't always exist. Sometimes shit gets changed for the sake of political correctness, and we have to sit here and just swallow it because the original is gone. And that's
a separate argument about the importance of preservation.
But that's kind of the argument you're making when you say the original cartoon still exists. Well, sometimes that original cartoon don't exist anymore.
That's fair. You cannot buy Brave Little Toaster on Blu-ray. It does not exist. The only way to watch Brave Little Toaster is to watch it on VHS or to get a Laserdisc copy. And to properly get one of those is going to run you back about $550.
Find me a copy of Song of the South.
I never even heard what you're talking about.
You know that song Zippity Doo Dah Zippity Yay, My Oh My,
Sure.
It's a Wonderful Day. It's a song that it was a Disney film that admittedly was highly fucking racist because it was about antebellum Southern culture.
Okay.
But Disney just pretends this movie doesn't exist anymore because of that. But it's gone.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, Disney basically erased that movie from history. And to go to a more modern thing, Disney straight up said they're not going to sell any Princess Leia and the Gold Bikini related stuff ever. I mean, yes, I know that you can easily mock that stance right there, but or like the people who are defending. You can easily mock the people who are defending. It's mockable one way or another, but the point I'm trying to make is history changes a lot. So it's not as simple as saying that cartoon exists still. You all get to see what happens when my brain starts going on like train of consciousness shit and I start losing track of where I'm at and I start repeating the same point over and over again.
I'm just trying to appeal to people that care about a thing I don't care about.
Fair enough. Anyways, this went way, way off on more of a tangent than I expected to. So let's go ahead and pull it back.
Technically, that wasn't even news.
Let's pull things back just a little bit. And let's talk about some gaming news. And specifically, how G2A still fucking sucks.
That's true.
We bitched about this last week. Now, if you remember last week, you had a whole bunch of developers. This was originally spearheaded by Mike Rose, but jumped on by a bunch of other developers who more or less said, hey, if you're going to fucking buy our game from G2A, we would rather you just pirate it.
Yeah. Because of stolen keys or stolen game codes or whatever the fuck else, and the fact that G2A makes 100% of the profit from games sold on G2A.
Yeah, and if it's a stolen key, it leads to a whole bunch of other problems as well, like chargebacks, having to deal with the customer service side of it. It is better for the company's bottom line for you just to fucking pirate their game than buy it from G2A.
Yep, and that is what we talked about last week, but now we have some pretty rad follow-ups that are kind of ridiculous, actually.
Yeah.
From Thomas Faust on Twitter.
Right. Apparently, in response to all this, G2A has sent out an email, a PR email, trying to fluff up their image a little bit to multiple games writers, and one of them was the aforementioned Thomas Faust. And, well, he took some pictures of the email that was sent to him, and let's just say G2A is unethical as fuck. Let me read these picture caps that he has taken.
It's so good. It's so amazing.
This is from Thomas Faust's Twitter account, pictures of the email he got from G2A. My name is Adrian, and I represent global digital marketplace called G2A.com. Our company is one of the biggest and most popular trading platforms in the world. Let me put a stop right there. I doubt the veracity of that claim that they're one of the biggest and most popular trading platforms in the world.
Just keep going. It's fine. This whole email spins, so you don't need to pause.
It's a place where buyers and sellers of games and other digital physical goods meet to make transactions. I am contacting you because I think your website matches our interests perfectly, and we would like to find out more about publishing and advertising opportunities you can offer. So far, stock, it's standard, right? It's like, hey, I'm a company. I'm reaching out about advertising on your site.
Okay.
This is what companies do. Going on to the email. At the moment, we are trying to improve our brand awareness and public image, especially among the indie and small games developers. Unfortunately, the majority of the public does not understand either our business model or how we try to make sure our customers can safely purchase digital products. As an aside, I would say the problem is that most people understand exactly what their business model is.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Going on. We want to make sure people understand we do everything we can to support the gaming community and that we introduce every possible method to assure every side is satisfied. We have written an unbiased article about how quote, selling stolen keys on the gaming marketplace is pretty much impossible, end quote.
Stop. We have written an unbiased article on how we are a legitimate company. This is the greatest fucking spin in the history of time.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing. I love what they said there.
Oh, that's magnificent.
So, remember, this is an amazingly unbiased article. It's so unbiased, people are going to look at it and go, wow, how unbiased is this? So They actually have to add this caveat in it as we go on. We want to publish on your website without being marked as sponsored or marked as associated with G2A. That's right. Such an unbiased article that they're requesting for it not to be associated with G2A. That's the people who wrote it.
It's just so unbiased and based on G2A that you should post it as if you wrote it and that we didn't write it, and don't mention that we talked to you, because it's just so unbiased.
It is a transparent and just review of the problem of stolen keys resetting. Transparent. They used the word transparent while simultaneously asking that their authorship be obfuscated.
Yeah, it's terrific. It's so ballsy. It's amazing.
What? Chat says, I have investigated myself and found that I'm actually the most innocent man alive. Yes, exactly.
Terrific.
It's so fucking ridiculous that they sent this out.
But then somehow it gets better, right?
Yes.
So Thomas Foss put this on Twitter, talked about how ridiculous it is that, it's a sponsored close without disclosure. Is that even legal? And G2A actually responded to him.
Oh, hold on! Before you mention their response,
and it's so amazing.
Before you mention their response, we should add in that other outlets have saying that they've received emails from G2 saying that they will secretly pay them to run positive coverage.
That's so good. It's amazing. We will give you money if you don't mention that we gave you money, and also release this unbiased article about how we're great and we're definitely not illegal.
And the reason why I want to mention that before you mention their response is because their response is confirming both of these things happen. So what is their response?
Their response is one of my favorite things on the internet. From G2A, directly responding to Thomas Faust on Twitter. These emails were sent by our employee without authorization, for which we apologize to @SoManyGames and the 9 other media outlets he sent this proposal to. He will face strict consequences, as this is absolutely unacceptable.
Okay. So I got a few things I have to ask her. I have questions.
Okay, yeah, I'm ready for you.
1, what are these other 9 outlets? I want names of these outlets.
You don't need to worry about that. It's okay.
I want to see the email. I want to see the email where he's offering to pay people. 2, who is this PR guy thinking that this is the smartest move possible? Like, well, who?
It's very important that the public knows that there was an employee who decided to risk his own job to secretly concoct a press campaign, complete with a pre-written PR piece to boost the company for the work they do without anybody else knowing. That is my favorite response on Twitter.
3,
at Bombspell.
What? I didn't know that. I didn't know that was something.
That was a direct response to the G2A post, and it was the funniest shit I read today.
Hilarious. 3, what consequences? I want to know what G2A is doing to this guy.
They're going to be strict. He is going home with pay and a bottle of wine, but not a good one, just an okay one.
He's got to drink this until he gets a headache.
Yep. And then tomorrow he gets to come in an hour late. I mean, has to come in an hour late. I mean, doesn't get to work for an hour.
So, first off, fuck G2A.
Mm-hmm.
Second of all, I think this is fucking borderline illegal in some countries because you have to advertise, you have to disclose sponsored content. It might actually even break more laws because they're offering to pay people off the books to speak positive about their coverage. There's shit like in radio that prevents you from doing that stuff, like pay for play and stuff like that. You can't do this. This right here could actually violate multiple laws.
Yep.
I'm not again
ad standards in the UK and Canada and all kinds of shit.
Once again, we're not like a legal podcast, so I could be talking out of my ass here, but I'm pretty fucking sure you can't offer to bribe someone to skirt around like FCC disclosure laws.
It's just so great.
Can
I start emailing websites to boost our channel and talk about how great we are? But I'm going to pre-write an unbiased article about how great we are, and then I'm going to pay them money.
If we actually start getting attention on this channel, then I actually have to start doing more work in my research for this channel. And this is more just me. This is just for me to vent rather than be.
I'm not saying I'm going to do that, you fucking dumbass. It's called hyperbole. Oh, God.
Okay, so let's Oh, fuck, what was I? Where was I going with this? Oh, yeah. So, if this was a story onto its own, okay, sure. Some PR guy fucked up. Get rid of him, move on.
Yep.
But it's this combined with every other thing that G2A has done in the past. Anyone who does any kind of sponsorship with these guys, so if you're a streamer or a YouTuber who has a G2A link down below and you still have that on there despite all the years of bullshit this company has, you're just as fucked up as they are. There comes a point where you have to look at it and go, this company is fucking unethical. We're cutting bait with them. We're done. So I'm not the kind of guy to to go after other people over a controversy, but in this particular case, I have to look at it and say, if you go to a Twitch stream or if you go to a YouTube page and they have that bright, shiny G2A link down there, I'm not saying unsubscribe for them, but you damn well should be asking that streamer or YouTuber hard questions about why they have an affiliate link on there despite all this shit they keep doing.
It's just ridiculous. And flipping hilarious. But yeah, G2A sucks. This doesn't really change the fact that they suck.
Yeah, no,
it's just now we get a laugh at them as opposed to just being angry at them.
It's so goddamn atrocious.
Yep.
Anyway, let's move
Moving on
to the next topic. David, why don't you lead this one off?
So this was leaked and then confirmed via IGN, but I feel like we've heard rumors about this for quite a while. It seems like we are going to get a trilogy of the Rocksteady Batman Arkham games being re-released for Xbox One and PS4 sometime in September. There was a listing of the Arkham game trilogy on, I think, Amazon UK. Because all this shit is always done on a sales website, right? Yeah. Walmart leaks shit, Amazon leaks shit.
We should ask Walmart Canada if this is true.
Yeah. It's amazing. So there hadn't been any official reveal. However, Rocksteady's marketing game manager, Gaz Deves, has actually confirmed the Arkham Collection on Twitter. So it was leaked a little bit, and now we know, hey, yeah, you're going to get an Arkham re-release. So that's fun.
Couple caveats. One, technically only listed for a European release right now, but let's face it, this is coming worldwide.
Yeah.
And two, no Arkham Origins. Because Rocksteady seems to have this disconnect with Arkham Origins. I don't know.
Well, they never bothered to fix it in the first fucking place.
Well, Rocksteady didn't make Arkham Origins. Another company made Arkham Origins.
Yeah, and it was never fixed.
Another developer did. But Rocksteady seems to just completely act as if that game doesn't exist.
Which is probably a good reason because it's not part of the Arkham trilogy.
Fair enough. Just saying, there are people who actually like Origins.
All right, that's cool. I've never met them.
Fair enough. So yeah, Arkham Trilogy is coming.
Arkham Asylum is still one of the best superhero games ever released.
Yeah, I like City more, but
Arkham City and Arkham Knight are cool, but Arkham Asylum was kind of game breaking when it came out.
Yeah, because up until that point, superhero games are always kind of and Batman games specifically were never good.
Yep. So even though City has a little more going on, I still kind of like Asylum more just for what it did.
Right, and it was the greatest thing that they could ever have done to go, okay, we're just getting the DC Animated Universe cast for this.
Yep.
Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill.
Yep. That was so good.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I like hearing this kind of makes me want to play through those three games again.
Yeah, the only problem I have with Arkham Asylum is the ending kind of jumps the shark a little. I don't like the final boss fight, but it is what it is. It's great up until then.
Bane Joker, right?
Yeah, it's really dumb.
Yeah, fair enough.
Spoilers for a 9-year-old game.
But anyway, so Arkham Trilogy is coming. Rocksteady's got to announce what they've been working on. They have been jerking us around. So this is that double-edged sword thing, right? Mm-hmm. We know Rocksteady's working on something. And people have been wanting to know what's a long time. Rocksteady hasn't said shit about it. So people are starting to kind of get a little salty at Rocksteady about it. However, on the other hand, if they would have announced what they were working on 3 years ago, and we're 3 years still no word on when it's coming out, people would be pissed off then too. It's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation.
See, I don't care. They can just vanish for a little while because ideally, in my world, we would just get an announcement of there's a Rocksteady Justice League game or a Rocksteady whatever the hell they're working on. It doesn't even have to be DC at this point.
Yeah. If you were to point a gun,
and then it's hey, it's going to come out in 2 months.
Yeah. If you were to point a gun to my head and tell me which one I'd rather have, no word at all, or word way too early. I would rather have no word at all, and then, like you said there, here's this game, it's coming out in 2 months.
Yep.
As
Because
opposed
I love
to
it when that happens. When you get super hype about a game and then you get to play it almost immediately. That's the best case scenario.
I think 6 months is the sweet spot.
Yeah, I can see that.
And announce a game in March, and it comes out in November.
Ask me how excited I am for the next Elder Scrolls when that eventually comes out in 5 years.
Yeah, see, that's just it. They've teased it way too early. They fucked the pooch on that.
But
Same with Starfield.
that's a Bethesda game, so it'll probably still sell.
Yeah, it's well,
we'll see.
Bethesda's
Depending on how much
a lot of goodwill.
Depending on how much goodwill they can.
Years.
Well, they can just release Skyrim a few more times before then.
But Bethesda is wiping the sweat off their brow, saying, "Thank God, BioWare fucked up more than we did." Because they can go. At least we're not BioWare, and point over to them.
Yeah, at least we didn't make Anthem.
Okay.
We just ban people for having too much ammo.
On. You know, David.
Yeah.
When I first brought this story up, I was going to get like into kind of full rant mode on it. And I thought it was going to eat up like 20 minutes of our time. I got my rage out with the G2A thing, so I no longer care nearly as much about this topic as I did when we first started. But I am going to bring it up anyways, and we're just going to kind of
I assumed you were going to rage about it, and I thought that your rage was going to be unfounded and also stupid.
First off, my rage is never unfounded and stupid.
Constantly. Like at all times.
Second, my rage is why a few people tune into this show.
That's true.
I just want to put that out there.
Your rage is infectious.
So this article comes from Video Game Chronicle. It's via Video Game Chronicle. Obsidian says it doesn't want Outer Worlds to be a politically charged game. And you would think saying that would be fine, but no, it's not apparently to some people on the Twitter. But let's read some quotes from this interview that they had, that co-director Leonard Boyarsky had with Video Game Chronicle. From the article. Co-director Boyarsky said the studio has been very careful not to lecture players with themes featured in the game, telling VGC that it's, quote, the last thing we want to do. I don't want people to think this is a really hard politically charged game. It's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be humorous, Boyarsky said. There are things in the game, there are people in the game who have philosophies I don't agree with, and I take pains to make sure those people are very likable, very sensible, and very believable. Then there are people in the game who say things I agree with, who are perhaps not very nice to hang out with. So we don't want to set up a straw man or anything like, say, look how horrible this is. It's really about looking at all aspects of the issues. The last thing we want to make is a game that people make. The last thing we want to do is make a game that people feel is lecturing them. Cool, right? They want to create a game that does not force their ideology down someone's throat. They want to make a game with people that will cover all sides of a specific topic. Some of them love, some of them will be nice, but they might disagree with some otherwise. Do you see what I'm saying? They want to make they don't want to make a partisan game. And I use the term partisan very specifically because that is different than political. The story to this isn't Boyarsky saying, I want to make a game that is not politically charged. The story is from the journalistic clique of people, think like your Polygons, Kotakus, etc., that have been attacking Obsidian for the past few days over this statement. And they do the same thing when Ubisoft says, we don't want to make a political game, blah, 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 blah. Guys, they're not saying the game is apolitical. They're saying they're not going to fucking force feed a point of view down your throat. Not everything needs to be this controversy about, oh, how dare the game not be political? It's about mega corporations taking over the universe. That's as political as you can get. Motherfuckers, they didn't say, they just are saying that they're not going to take a this side is good kind of stance. And that's what pisses the people in this journalistic clique off. Because there's a phrase that gets passed around amongst these guys. The political is the personal. And they want every single aspect of your life to have politics injected into it. They want you continuously outraged. Which is funny of me saying that.
This is super fun, right? This is really exciting. Can you send me like a single fucking example of any game magazine article that was actually bitching about this?
Absolutely.
Because I didn't see any.
Okay, let me fill in time while I look this up real quick.
The weird thing to me, right, is there's this like fucking pretend news that keeps happening where people keep saying, we don't want our games to be political. And the game has a vaguely political narrative. And so it will be in the sense that it involves political themes. So, yes, you can have a theme and not be on one side or the other. That's entirely possible. You could also just not say this shit, because saying it is some weird trigger that everyone has to lash onto and be like, they say it's not political, hooray! They say it's not political, grr. And that somehow becomes this weird internet argument.
That's the point I'm trying to make. There are people who are taking this and running with it to create another fight that doesn't exist. It's like the fucking...
I didn't see anyone... I saw the last fight when this shit happened for fucking... Oh, God, what game was that? I don't even remember. Cyberpunk or some shit. But I didn't really see people all up in arms about Obsidian not being political.
Let's see. I'm not going to mention specific names because I don't want to cause like a barrage or anything here. But here are quotes from people involved in the video game industry, specifically on the journalistic side. 1.
Is this all via Twitter or from actual like shit on their websites?
These are via Twitter, but these are the people who are writing these articles. So do you want the articles from the website, or do you just want the personality? Because I'm saying specifically of a journalistic click, and this shit flavors their stuff.
Because I don't really give a shit what people say on Twitter. People say whatever the fuck they want. Twitter is inherently political.
I disagree. Most of Twitter is not actually political. Most of Twitter is just people showing off random shit.
That can be fair, but that seems to be where all the arguments start.
It's also where the zeitgeist of conversation is happening. I hate fucking Twitter, but I have to be on there because that's where people are having the conversation.
Yeah, I think I just don't read Twitter enough. Because every time there's all this like crazy shit, everyone's like pointing to Twitter and I just don't click on it. So maybe that's my bad.
But let's see. There's one person I say a little late to this, but laughing my ass off. They post the link of the article that I was just reading from, followed by the plot, which is talking about mega corporations, and they're essentially mocking them for saying they're apolitical. Someone else says, between that Ubisoft guy and Cyberpunk 2077 and other weasels who are trying to ham-fist tackle social commentary that are depth while remaining neutral about which side of injustice is bad, I think we're in a real bunch of years of shitty release buds, essentially saying because you're staying neutral, you're an asshole. Here's someone else making a mock quote from the game developers. It's a corporate dystopia where huge conglomerates control and run an entire planet for profit. But don't worry, that's just a meaningless aesthetic choice, and the game has nothing interesting to say about its setting and premise. Our story world is empty and pointless, we swear. These are the people who write, huh?
That's kind of funny.
The thing, yeah, I mean, it's funny if you look at it, but that's not what they're saying. They're not saying the story is apolitical. They're saying they're not shoving an ideology down people's throats. And when a place like Ubisoft has said our games aren't political, they're not saying that their games aren't political. I mean, yes, they're saying their games aren't political. But it seems like they're trying to say is, we're just tired of being fucking attacked by the press for not having the correct views. So we're just going to walk away and say, nope, this isn't our bag. We're walking away from it. You guys can argue all you want to it. This is our official stance. And there are constantly people trying to find outrage of fucking everything, and that is by design.
I feel like it's not everybody. It's like 3 people on Twitter that are looking really hard for outrage on either side, and they just have a bunch of followers and get retweets.
It's not everybody, you're right. But when I refer to this clique of journalists...
Because that's what I'm saying. Like, if I go on the internet, I don't see this shit.
Right, but
there's no one on my Twitter feed that's like, fuck Outer Wilds, they don't want to be political.
I'm close to the forest for the trees, but there is this specific clique of people who are very powerful, and I use that term loosely. They're like main names in this journalism clique, who all kind of have the same wavelength, that unless your game is openly political and takes our side of the argument, we're going to mock it horribly. And we're going to write shit articles about it. And I will find some of their articles. What I looked up were just names of people who write their articles. I can find other articles. And I don't want to say their names right now because I don't want to fucking give them more attention than I just did. You're just going to have to take my word that they said it.
Okay, yeah, that's some good journalism, bro.
I'm not a journalist.
People said some shit on the internet.
I'm not a journalist.
You're just going to have to believe that they said that shit. I'm not going to give you actual examples or any references.
I just gave you 3 of them. But I don't want to direct traffic to these people because they cater in the outrage.
Yeah.
And it's the same kind of manufactured outrage that's happening right now about the Little Mermaid movie without getting too deep into that.
Oh man, that shit is funny.
It's just people looking to be angry and upset for a while. Let me rephrase. It's just people who are angry and upset for no reason other than to be angry and upset, and that it hopes it gets shares and clicks, which is why I'm not mentioning where I'm getting these from.
Dude, welcome to first world problems.
Exactly.
This is what happens when people have nothing else to do.
I am sick and tired of people being sick and tired.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'll work. Old man who yells at cloud.
The old man who's... No. Difference. They are the old man who yells at cloud. I am the old man who yells at the old man yelling at cloud. Do you see the point that I'm trying to make here? Let's take a look at chat, because chat's kind of lit up on this one a little bit here. Let's see. Every game is political because everything derives from life experience, and every facet of life now has politics. People should know it's saying it won't be political now means it won't be one-sided. Yes, that's the point I'm trying to make there, Salty Frank. When these guys say it's not political, I don't hear it's not political. What I hear is it's not partisan. And I think it's just a semantic issue. Coke for Taco says, no matter what you do, there's going to be an outrage this day and age. Yeah, because outrage sells and gets clicks. Captain Ice Cold's talking about the cyberpunk thing about the Voodoo Boys and the Voodoo Boys. The Voodoo Boys were created by the creator of Cyberpunk, who is a African American man, or I don't even know if he's a black man. So there's no standing on that right there. Let's see what else. Angry journalists mad at angry journalists for being angry. Yeah, I mean that does sum it up, right?
Yeah, basically.
Anyways, I had like an entire rant about this planned up, but my anger has just kind of died down as I was going through this. Because at the end of the day, it's one of those things I'm like, guys.
It's just so ridiculous to me.
There's no fucking controversy here.
Yeah, I don't have any emotional like investment in this because it's just ridiculous to me.
Yeah, there is no controversy here at all. A developer said, yeah, we don't want a specific point of view in our game. We want to leave that up to the player.
But I feel like at this point, it's almost fucking easier to just not say that shit. Is your game political in tone? You'll just have to play the game and decide for yourself.
Yeah, that's what people should be saying. That's absolutely what people should be saying at this point. It's just...
It sucks that they need to do that, but that's like the easy fix. Just stop having this specific article go out.
Yeah, just stop talking to people. Which sucks, though. But that sucks. You should be able to...
I'm not saying stop talking about it.
You should be able to say shit like this without having people trying to make mountains out of molehills. Because this is nothing. I shouldn't even be talking about this.
And yet, here
I am. Because god damn it, if we don't have people who are constantly trying to ratchet up the culture war as hard as they can make it to make everyone yell at everyone else for their own profit.
I'm so excited about how we're talking about needless angriness and how well it's going to lead into the next fucking thing we get to talk about.
David?
Yeah?
Go ahead and unleash the Kraken. You've been saving up. You have been wanting to talk about this. I know since you first heard about it. Go ahead.
Let's talk about my favorite thing in the world. And no, my favorite thing isn't actually the Epic Game Store. My favorite thing is other people's reactions to the Epic Game Store. And via Tim Sweeney on Twitter, we've just found out that Epic is funding the cost of all Kickstarter refunds resulting from Shenmue 3's move to the Epic Game Store for their 1-year exclusive deal, so that refunds won't reduce EastNet's development funding. So, remember we had that whole article, what was it, a week ago, 2 weeks ago?
It was recent, but not that recent.
Where Shenmue 3 backers who backed the game on Kickstarter would not be getting Steam keys at launch. That it was only going to be launching on Epic, so you could still get your free copy on Epic, which is, the game that you pre-ordered, that you gave a developer just free money for to do whatever the fuck they want with, and you have absolutely no say or promises, regardless of what the internet tells you. You're still going to get a free copy of the game. But if you don't like Epic, you could wait a year and get it on Steam. Or if you don't like either of those options, Epic will pay for your refund. That's what's happening.
Right.
And people could not be more pissed about it. And I fucking love it. Tim Sweeney goes on to say, when future games go Epic exclusive after offering crowdfunding rewards on other PC stores, we will either coordinate with colleagues at the other stores to ensure key availability in advance or guarantee refunds at announcement time. because a lot of people were really pissed right when this was announced, saying, I paid for this game so I could play it on Steam, and now I can't play it on Steam, and I won't have this, that, and the other thing, and blah, 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 and fuck you, Epic, and fuck your exclusives. They're saying, hey, guess what? We're going to fix it this time. Next time around, if we have another exclusive, we're going to make sure you either get your refund up front or you're going to get your keys at the same time. And the internet's like, you guys are killing Kickstarter, and you guys are the worst thing in the world. And
no, Kickstarter's killing Kickstarter. Let's be honest here.
Dude, I think medical bills are killing Kickstarter, but...
Fair enough. I know what you mean. Go ahead.
And it just goes on, and so many people just outraged Epic for ruining the game industry.
Here's the thing.
And it's so great.
If you backed Shenmue 3, what the developers of Shenmue 3 did, or not developer, whoever is in charge of this deal, what they did was fucked up. You essentially de facto said, yes, you'll be getting this game when it comes out on Steam. I know they didn't officially say that, but let's be honest, there's only one there at the time of this developer. That was the one thing. It was heavily implied this was going to happen. And you can't even say it's like, oh, well, it's implied doesn't mean it's like we know what was being promised here.
It could have been a GOG game. They never specified it.
You know for a fact that is not what was being implied. You know this for a fact.
Physical copy. Everybody likes physical PC games.
When you already have... Phoenix Point is another example of this. When you already have like an agreement in place saying this game will be available for X platform, and then you go around and sign an exclusivity agreement telling those people that this platform is going somewhere else, that is fucked up. However, it is not fucked up on Epic's side. It is
not even close, and it never was.
It is fucked up on the side of whoever on the Shenmue 3 side made the agreement to begin with. Because they're the ones that signed the dotted line.
That's true.
There are a lot of legitimate reasons to not like the Epic Store, ranging from their shitty online platform to their general treatment of exclusivity. A lot of people just don't like the idea of exclusive games to begin with, and I get that. That, I think, is a valid point to make, although it's not one I share. To their connections to Tencent, which is a valid point. Tencent's fucking terrifying. To the fact that their store can't even hold more than one. There's a bunch of security issues. There's a bunch of valid, legitimate reasons to be upset at Epic. This is not one of them.
That's very true, because you can only blame the company that prefers an 88% split over a 70% split.
This is Epic.
It makes sense to them.
This is Epic doing right by people by saying, okay, hey guys, listen, you're pissed. I know that the developer / publisher said they aren't going to do refunds. We will do it ourselves. How can you be upset about that? Be upset at Epic for all the other things. Go ahead. There's plenty to criticize them about.
Yeah, dude. You could be mad at Epic about some things. For sure. Dude, I can't have multiple games in a shopping cart to buy them all at once. And if you buy too many games in a row, it gets mad at you. What kind of shit is that?
This all ties into the Outer Worlds conversation we're just having, though. You can't just have something be good or bad. It's like, no, you must pick a side. My side or the enemy side. And if it's on the enemy side, regardless if it's good or not, it must be evil. And it's making nonstop mountains out of molehills. And it is all sides of this fucking stupid... I keep referring to the culture war because there's a YouTuber named Temple that I hear that phrase from, and it makes sense to me. It's this constant needling of, if you ain't with us, you again us.
That's how it goes.
And I think more and more people are just getting tired of it.
I feel like everybody's more than that, they're digging in.
Well, the extremes are digging in. Yeah. But the middle, the people who aren't like invested in this or just look at everyone and go, you're all fucking stupid, are disconnecting. Yeah. They're starting to just disconnect. And eventually you'll have more and more people start doing that excellent moment from the 90s great classic PCU. When they finally start taking up signs saying we're not going to protest.
Gutter is a tool.
And
90s movies.
It's going to take something of like big substance to finally awaken that middle, but it will happen. When that happens, the people who have been making money off of this fucking outrage bullshit just nonstop are going to are going to suddenly find themselves cast out on the raft into the ocean. And that's what needs to happen. And I think that's what's starting to happen. I can feel it. I can feel more and more people kind of going, I'm tired of being outraged nonstop. Just let me play my fucking game.
Yeah, dude. Remember when video games used to be a fun thing we used to all do together? Let's bring those times back. Let's bring back cooperative video games.
I think they're closer than people recognize. I think in a couple more years of this bullshit. On the other hand, we have a couple more years of this bullshit that we have to put up with. But I think it's going to get to the point where, and I said it earlier, where people are going to start becoming sick and tired of being sick and tired of shit. This is supposed to be fun, man. We're supposed to be talking about how fucking cool shit is. Instead, we gotta talk about nonstop layoffs and about how people need to unionize and about how fucking you can't say that you're apolitical and how somehow Epic is the worst thing since Hitler. And it just, the fuck? I'm tired, man.
You're losing steam, bro. You gotta keep that rage alive.
Do you know how hard you have to work to make me tired of rage?
That's pretty intense. That's pretty intense. Anyway, to sum up, good on you, Epic Game Store.
I'm just...
You guys are doing the Lord's work.
I am just so done with the you versus them mentality on every fucking issue out there.
Yeah, it's really time that we as PC gamers get together and have an honest sit down and look at the real problem that we have as PC gamers.
And that
console
problem,
plebes.
Okay, we have
kids.
Let me look at chat here real quick, because that was also kind of lighten up a little bit here. Let's see. Referring to it earlier, Coco Fataco says Wolfenstein did it right, in my opinion. They knew they were going to piss people off with their marketing. They still did it because it made people talk about it. Yeah. I mean, that therein is the spiral, right?
Yep.
We get outraged. It divides us. It makes us more into the out versus us versus them mentality. But it gets clicks. Company sees it gets clicks, leans into the outrage, makes more people outraged, divides us even more, makes more money off clicks, and that's the spiral. So I don't know if it's doing it right, but it is what people are doing. They are starting to cash in on the outrage. Let's see. Gamers rise up. Gamers truly are one of the most oppressed classes ever.
Wow. God damn.
I can't even say that with a straight face. I started like smiling after I...
This half of GamePoints does not endorse that half of GamePoints' previous statement. That's some shit, bro.
Salty Frank, I think, has it surrounded. He says, I think people just don't want to be left out. Yes.
That makes sense. Makes a ton of sense.
Because you say, I hate X. I hate X gets 20 likes. So then you have to ramp it up. I really fucking hate X. I really fucking hate X gets 40 likes. And then it's just a non-stop ratcheting of negativity over and over and over again.
That I like X and I really like X gets -2 likes.
Yeah, exactly. You have someone coming up going...
No one cares about positivity. Yeah, that's why Yelp exists. You think anyone goes on Yelp and leaves positive reviews? Because they fucking don't.
No.
You go to bitch about shit. That's what it's for.
You say, I like X, and what you get is maybe 1 like, and then 3 people saying, what, are you fucking stupid? Let me tell you why this game sucks.
Yeah.
And those comments get the 20 and 40 likes. And we're dealing with small numbers, so I'm saying 20 and 40. The numbers that these people are dealing with are like in the thousands. And it's a downward spiral.
As a random aside, speaking of things that people just seem to hate for no goddamn reason, I saw the new Spider-Man, and it's fucking amazing. It has some of the best fight scenes in any Marvel movie, like hands down. And people are still mad about it. Like, this movie sucks. It's trash.
We have one more story that I'm actually going to kind of cut through here. People just like
being mad.
I'm going to
cut mad for the sake of mad.
Yeah, exactly. We have one more story I'm going to kind of quickly address right here real quick.
It's small.
It's small. This is via PC Gamer, by the way. Apparently, there are issues with the new AMD Ryzen 300 series CPU with Destiny 2. It is causing issues. Ryzen, sorry. not Ryzen. It is causing issues. People are having a hard time actually being able to boot up Destiny 2. There is some big critical problem here, and it seems to only be affecting Destiny 2, which is...
nothing else has been reported so far. And they are aware of it and working on something. But there's a page you can go to. So if you have one of the new Ryzen processors, the 3000 series, you can go to the Bungie website and submit a ticket. They actually want you to get a list of like your crash dump. They have instructions on the website, so we'll throw that in there somewhere. You can click on it.
The point of the reason why I want to include this in the story is because of how oddly specific it is. Because it is only Destiny 2. Like, what the hell does Destiny 2 have that's conflicting with this chipset that nothing else is having?
Salty Frank in chat. Another bonus of AMD over Intel keeps you from wasting your time grinding.
Okay, that is funny.
That shit's amazing. Oh,
but do you see what I'm saying? It's like if it was... There's something weird here, because you would figure there'd be more games affected by this.
Yeah, that's fair. There's just some strange bullshit. Who knows? And the other thing I'm interested in is if this is only affecting the Ryzen 3 K processors that are running on the new motherboards, because technically, if you have one of the older series motherboard that's running the 2000 series Ryzens, you can actually slot the chip in and they work. So they have not just the new chips, but they also have a new set of, like, I can't remember what the iteration is called, but there's a new section of motherboards. I'm wondering if it's affecting both the old motherboard that can use it and the new one. So it's just 100% the card, or if it's just the new motherboard. I didn't get enough details on this.
Yeah. Just want to point out that we are aware of it. It's a problem. I'm sure we'll have a fix of it soon. But it just seems so oddly specific, I thought it worth mentioning.
Yep. Very strange.
Yeah. David, that's the last of the news stories.
It is. We are out of news, my friends.
I would have some clever, lead in to new releases, but honestly, this show has drained me of all of my life today.
Damn. That's rough.
So let's just talk about what's coming out this week.
Oh, this week. Damn it. I was going to say, let's just play Monster Hunter because Iceborne, but that's okay. Coming out this week, video games that you can play soon, right? Tuesdays when games come out. Bear with me. The complete collection comes out for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. This is a indie adventure point-and-click adventure game. It's an episodic noir adventure game where you play as an actual teddy bear, like you're a detective teddy bear called Ted E. Bear, and you're trying to help Amber, who's probably the dame that walks into your dimly lit office while you're smoking a stogie, and she's trying to find her missing brother.
Okay.
So yeah, she wakes up in the middle of the night. Her brother's missing. She finds her head. Her old friend Teddy Bear, who's a retired grumpy old detective, and you set out looking for clues, interrogating witnesses. Old school point and click adventure game, but with a little bit of twist because you play as a fucking teddy bear, and it actually it's like full noir. So I can't tell if this game is trying to be funny or serious, but looking at it, it's both. There you go. Dude, Soul Seraph comes out this week. That's PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. A game where you build up your cities, set up defensive structures, protect them from the constant threat of monsters. Brought to you by the Ace team, combines action and strategy. The big, huge takeaway for this game is it's like a 2D Dark Cloud. That's really my favorite part.
It's ActRaiser, bro.
I had to throw
I don't
it in
like
there.
you.
I know. That's
I
fair.
actively hate you right now because of that shit.
That's
Soul
fine.
Surf is fucking ActRaiser.
Yeah, it's definitely ActRaiser.
And I am playing the hell out of that this week. I am really looking forward to getting my hands on this.
Cool. Dude, how about a game that I know for sure you're going to download? 100%, you're going to get Dr. Mario World, which is releasing on Android and iOS.
Nope.
Now, while we do not traditionally cover mobile games on this show, and while I don't have anything against people that play games mobilely, this one is being brought up because it's the next Nintendo-branded mobile game. So following Super Mario Run and Fire Emblem Fates and fucking whatever else they have going on, it's a mobile Dr. Mario World that you can play against people, from what I understand, and is built with touchscreen in mind. But the thing to me, this doesn't bother me as much unless they have a bunch of bullshit transactional stuff in it, because Dr. Mario World is kind of like Tetris. That's a game that is absolutely perfect for time wasting. And if they have that running really well on a phone, I might be into that. I'm just worried it's going to be some Nintendo bullshit and it needs an always online connection and it's going to be free and you got to pay a bunch of money. And the normal.
From what I understand
shit.
with this stuff, it's not even Nintendo that kind of makes it. They just kind of slap their name on it. So it's going to have all the problems that mobile games typically have. So
which is upsetting, because I would actually pay like $2 for just a straight Dr. Mario, like Super Nintendo style Dr. Mario game that I could play on my phone.
Yeah, I would too.
That'd be rad. How about let's talk about Tiny Metal Full Metal Rumble. It's coming out for Switch and PC.
This actually looks cool.
Strategy game. I think this game looks rad. I think this looks more like a sequel to Advanced Wars, because there was that other game that came out not too long ago. What the hell is it called? That is very Advanced Wars. Wargroove. This is like if that franchise actually kept going, because it's more 3D based, but it's still isometric turn-based strategy game. I think this game looks rad. You got a bunch of different like 23 some odd units in the game, orbital dropships. You can focus fire, all that other fun stuff. And dude, it's a tactical strategy game. We need a million of those. There's never too many. That's like the best game type. Blazing Chrome comes out for PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. This is a 2D shooter. You can play it co-op with a friend, and you run to the side, shoot things, and that's
it's Contra. It looks a lot like Super Contra did, and I'm very excited for this as well.
It does. And then Lethal League Blaze comes out for PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. This is an action fighting game. It's interesting. It's got online 4-player. I don't know if it's even co-op, but it's like a beat-based fighting game, like music-y. I don't know. It looked kind of interesting. You can take a look. And finally, dude, Dragon Quest Builders was kind of a surprise game to me when it came out, and we're getting a sequel. Dragon Quest Builders 2 hits PS4 and Switch this week. This is the Minecraft game, basically, that is set in the Dragon Quest universe, so you fight slimes and shit. Has way more of a story than any of the other Minecraft clones has had, as far as I'm aware. And this one adds co-op multiplayer, because the original Dragon Quest was like a single-player Minecraft game. But you build towns, you find civilians, you buy items, you level up your class. You can play as traditional Dragon Quest classes, fight monsters, and I think it's cool. We get a new one. How exciting!
Sounds good.
If it was cheap and on PC, I'd play it.
Soul Seraph and Blazing Chrome will be streamed this week here at Twitch TV/GamePoints. I don't know exactly when, but I'm looking forward to getting my hands into both of those games heavily.
And Tiny Metal will probably be played on my Switch that you can't watch, because I will be playing it in the car.
David.
Sorry, guys. Yeah.
I'm so tired.
He's so tired.
I'm so drained.
That's all, folks. He's all raged out.
That's going to do it for Game Points episode 182. I long for a future where we don't have to talk about these non-controversies. I long for it. That's all I want.
No, you don't. We need it to keep the show alive. What the fuck else are we going to talk about?
If you somehow enjoyed what you see here, you can always join us every Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right here at Twitch TV/GamePoints, or you can watch us later at YouTube.com/GamePointsPC. If you want to support the show in any way, you can like, follow, subscribe, throw bits at. If you're sitting on a Amazon or Twitch Prime account and you haven't used it, I'd appreciate it here. Go Gert Fun. I appreciate you showing up, but we are actually wrapping up right now, so hopefully I'll catch you next time. If you want to follow Sugar, you do so at GamePoints PC. You can follow myself at CapitalistPig21. You can follow David there at PowerShop_Satori. We'll be streaming live throughout the week as well, so if you want to catch me playing and ranting at various video games, feel free to follow and turn on the notifications. Until next time, everyone, you'll have a good night, and we're out of here.